religion is, for a Jew, I guess we don't have a pope. We don't have a Vatican. And whereas for other religions, my personal opinion is God is necessary, and without God there would be no religion. For a Jew, God is only an excuse. You've still got to be a Jew. You've got to act like a Jew. If you were told suddenly that there was no heaven and no God, people of other religions could be completely amoral and do whatever they please, but a Jew couldn't. A Jew has to be a Jew. If there's a God and he wants to reward you, let him do that. But if there's no God, it doesn't make any difference. You've just got to, nobody's proved God's existence. So as a Jew, you have to do what's menschlich. You have to do what's proper. And if there's no God, so what? You still have to do what's proper. And if there is a God, that's up to him what he does with you. Who cares? That's his business. My business is to be a Jew. Other people work for heaven or for whatever, but I just work to try to be the best person I can. But I think being Jewish, as I said near the beginning, carries a sort of special responsibility. The other Western and semi-Western religions are based on Judaism. I think they've gone astray. But they were based on Judaism for a reason. And this isn't necessarily Yiddishkeit, I'm afraid, but it's just general Jewishness. There is a responsibility for Jewish people to be Jews. Maybe not in an entirely ritualistic sense, but in the sense of being pathfinders for humanity and living up to the highest standards of Jews. Sometimes ritual gets in the way of that. We have arrogant Jews who believe that they can have settlements wherever they want, that all the world belongs to them. That's not good. We are a people with a special responsibility, not only for ourselves, but for the world. And we don't want to make the same mistakes other religions have made, where they have to conquer by the sword. We've conquered always by studying, by delving into the books that are holy to us. But we try to keep in perspective, unlike other religions, that human life is more important than any book, and that the books teach us about human life. We don't kill people because they do something to a book. We try to teach them why this book should be treated better, but we don't. Anyway, I'm not a rabbi. I should not be giving prescriptions, but I feel that there is a special responsibility in being Jewish, and that the Yiddish speakers who came here brought that with them, that feeling, and that also that courage, the courage to be Jews, the courage to say, no, I can't assimilate completely. I want to be an American, but I also want to be a Jew, and they could do that in this country. In Russia, they weren't allowed to assimilate. They had to be Jews. They had to be Mark, especially. So while we integrate, no matter how much we do that, the part of our Jewish identity that should always remain is the part that makes us cognizant of our duties and responsibilities as human beings, and special human beings, because we are descendants of Hebrews and Jews and Yiddish speakers who gave something special to the world, and we mustn't lose that. We must carry it on. And Yiddish brings with it, and Yiddishkeit, they bring with it that responsibility of being Jews. And I think that's, whether it was my father's family, who were much more ritualistic and much more Jewish in that sense, or my mother's family, which was very much more cultural and not religious Jew. I think they both gave me that feeling that you have to act in a special way. You have to do things for people. you have to serve the world in some way. You don't serve some purpose and then say, oh, God told me I could do that. No, you're not allowed to do that. Let God mind his own business. You have certain things you have to do, and you can't just say, like some politicians, oh, you've got to do things my way. I mean, birth control or whatever. It's my way, it's my religion, and I'm going to force it on you. No, you can't do that. You have a responsibility to respect other people and let them do then what they must do, but you can't prescribe to them. You, by example, have to show. And I think some people now who worship men as gods might do well to recognize that those men didn't think of themselves as gods necessarily. And if they did, they were wrong. God may not exist. Those men existed. But whether God exists or doesn't, if you're a Jew, you must act properly. You don't have a choice. It doesn't depend on heaven. It doesn't depend on rewards. You don't serve any particular person. You serve Jewish custom, Jewish notions of right and wrong, and above all, of Jewish justice. And that, I think, is what these people from Eastern Europe gave us, and we should hold it and carry it on. And I would hope future generations would look at the world that way as well.